All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. It is the weekend, and so it is time for the update of our 10K challenge. If you're new to the channel, I will explain what the 10K challenge is in a minute. But before that, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, smash the like button if you enjoy this video, and feel free to leave a comment below. Also, you'll see a pinned comment with a link to our Discord. We're at about 500 people over there, so we'd love to have you come and join us. And I do have levels in the Discord that I go into a deeper dive of the 10K challenge. But if you're not interested in that, please just subscribe to the channel and you can watch along here on YouTube. One of the things we're doing to measure our progress is we're comparing the portfolio to the four major indexes, which are the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Russell 2000. In addition to that, we took the two largest precious metals, which is silver and gold, and the two largest cryptocurrencies, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. We want to finish in first place, ahead of all 8 of those things. Second goal is we want to make money. It's not good enough just to beat all the other assets. Even in a bear market, we still want to make some money. We don't want to lose money over the course of a year. So that is the second goal. So those are the two defined goals for this year. And then ultimately, obviously, the final goal will be to get the $10,000 to $100,000. The market had a very good week this week. The equity markets had a great week. The cryptocurrencies had a great week. So all of our competition had a really good week, and they are much improved. So let's see how our portfolio performed in this good week. We have 15 positions in the portfolio. I only have one new position, and really it's a $15 position. And what that is was I bought some puts for Nano Dimension that are only good for about a week, but they cost me $15 and they were almost in the money. So based on the very good week and run that Nano Dimension has had, I just bought some short-term protection because it lined up. I'm not going to give away all my profits to buy short-term puts as protection if they're not on sale. So a lot of times it just depends on where the stock is trading at, what the strike point of the puts are. So sometimes there's just not an opportunity to do that at all. Whereas other times, in this instance, I feel like for $15, that's a nice hedge. So really, basically what I'm saying is the portfolio remained unchanged. I did add to some of my positions early in the week, and I sold some of my options later in the week, taking profits. So you'll see this list is in order from largest to smallest. So you'll see all my stock positions are my larger positions. And then I have several options positions. Altogether, these tend to represent, depending on how they're doing, anywhere from 10 to 20% of my account. It very rarely gets up to 20%. And at that point, I'm usually taking profits. You'll see once one of these has made enough money that it's popped up here higher in the list, I will start to take profits typically. So we did have a change in my biggest position this week. And CleanSpark has been my largest position for several weeks. It is now my second largest position, and Romeo is my largest position. Romeo is my position that is down the most out of all the stocks in my portfolio. However, my conviction in them remains the same. So I have been dollar cost averaging into Romeo all the way along, and so it is now my largest position. And we're going to take a look at Romeo and see how it did this week. CleanSpark is my second largest position. I averaged into that several times, and CleanSpark has had a very good year, despite the fact that most of the other stocks in the portfolio have struggled this year. CleanSpark has had a very good year. So as I averaged in to make it an oversized position, and then it grew because it's up substantially, I did take some profits in CleanSpark to rebalance the portfolio. So these are some of the strategies that I use. You can see as the year goes on, I try to keep my portfolio balanced, try to dollar cost average into my positions when they're going down. I try to take profits when they're going up, but not too soon. I need to wait until there's actual profits. Just because a stock has gone up doesn't mean it's profitable, right? You got to get back past your break-even point into profitability. Well, CleanSpark way past that. So it was getting very oversized versus the portfolio. So I did take some money off the table there. So I'm just going to show you how a few of the stocks, before we get to the list, I'm going to show you how a few of these stocks behaved this week. All of the stocks, I will tell you, this was a very, very good week for the 10K challenge. All of these stocks performed very well, and many of them were up 15 or 20% or more than that this week. So I'm going to take a look at one from each of the sectors that I invest in. I have 3 Bitcoin miners in the portfolio, so if we look at Bitfarms, but if I go from Monday to the close on Friday, you'll see Bitfarms was up about 22%. Even after a 22% up week, it still isn't even back to where it was at the beginning of the month, and it's nowhere near where it was back at the beginning of the year. So the other place I like to invest is in the small cap EV sector. This is one that I really don't see anybody else following this one yet, but I think people will be jumping into this. Okay, so this particular stock is Romeo, and again, remember, this is now my biggest position, and this is one of the reasons why. From the open on Monday till the close on Friday, this was up almost 22%. That is a very strong week. And you'll see from the open on Monday, it actually dipped down quite a bit. So I did get to average into this again. Then the third area I tend to invest in is small cap, high growth stocks, and they tend to skew toward tech stocks. Not exclusively though. So this is Curiosity Streams. From the open on Monday to the close on Friday, this was up 27.5%. So you can see most of my stocks had very nice moves this week. So with that said, let's take a look at the 10K challenge and what our balance is, and then we'll go to the board and see how we're doing versus the competition. Okay, this is the portfolio at the close of Friday, March 18th. Net assets is now $9,514.84, and we'll take a look at last week versus this week. You'll see I showed this in specific because Friday, we were actually up on the day, and Friday has been an absolute disaster for the portfolio in 2022. Fridays have been awful. There have been a pretty strong sell-off almost every single Friday for at least the last month and a half. That did not happen this Friday. We continued our green streak, so the portfolio actually went up a little bit on Friday, so that was nice. So you'll also see we now have cash on the sidelines of 1,839. So that is up. We were at about 1,600 at the end of last week, and now we're at 1,839. So we have a couple $100 extra in the coffers. In the event of a pullback, we have some money for buying opportunities to dollar cost average in. So you guys know this is important to me. I try to keep this above $1,500, and we've been pretty successful keeping it between $1,500 and $2,200. Because you always want to have some amount of cash on the sidelines. If a big buying opportunity comes up, you don't want to be out of powder and have to sit and watch. Having said that, I know that everybody has been buying the dip for 6 months now, or worse in some instances. So if you are out of powder, I guess the only thing you can do is wait for it to recover, and or if you're able to just contribute some amount out of your paycheck each week. Again, we are not doing that in the 10K challenge, but I do think everybody should be doing that personally. Whatever amount you can afford to save, try to put in your investment account. Okay, so let's take a look and see how we did against the competition. Last Friday, we were still in 8th place. The portfolio has been struggling, but like I've been saying all year, I have been dollar cost averaging and greatly increasing my position in all of these stocks. I have been feeling good about the portfolio. I think we're rounding out the portfolio. That is one of the points of the 10K challenge. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is an investment strategy. We try to use a lot of sound investment principles and, dollar cost average in, not take super high risk investments, do our due diligence. So obviously none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy the stocks that I bought in my 10K challenge. This is more about the approach that we take to investing, and we're going to see. This is a long-term approach to investing, and the point of this is to see how that compares. And again, the goal is to outperform all of these things. Otherwise, if we haven't outperformed the indexes, then you could have just put your money in an index fund, left it alone, never paid attention to it, and been ahead. So obviously we need to finish not just ahead of those. The goal is to finish well ahead of those. So last week, silver and gold were in first place by far. All year, silver and gold have been the only investment that's actually been in the green. So let's take a look at this week. So I'm just going to show you the progress we made this week. Last week we were in 8th place. We were behind the NASDAQ. Even though the NASDAQ had a great week, it was up 8% on the week, which is a massive move for an index. So the NASDAQ had a very strong week, but as you can see, we were up actually 16% on the week this week. So, and as you saw, we dug into some of the stocks in the portfolio. It was pretty much across the board. So we were able to pass the NASDAQ. We were able to pass Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a very good week. It was up almost 10%. So in cryptocurrency, that's not as drastic. For an index, that would be a drastic move. Cryptos move a lot. And you'll see Ethereum, despite the fact that it's still in last place, was up 17% this week. So, okay, we also passed the Russell 2000 this week. So the Russell 2000 is the small cap high growth stocks. The Russell 2000 had a good week. It was up 5%, a little bit less than the other things we've looked at so far, but still a very strong week. However, like I said, we were up 16% this week. So this is kind of one of the weeks we've been waiting for. And this is how this is going to go. And that doesn't mean we're up in a straight line from here, by the way. There's bumps in the road. What we want to do, though, is over time differentiate ourselves from the rest of these general investment. Lastly, we passed the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was up 6% this week, so that was also a very good week for the S&P 500. However, this was our best week of the year so far this year. So we passed the S&P 500 as well, so we managed to move from 8th place up to 4th place. Now remember, our goal is 1st place, and we want to be in 1st place comfortably because we're looking to do a lot more than just compete with the indexes. So this was a big step in the right direction. We jumped from 8th to 4th. We passed several of the indexes. We also passed Bitcoin. We did not quite catch the Dow. So we're down 4.85% on the year. The Dow is down 4.36% on the year. Silver and gold pulled back, and that is typical. Those are safe havens. As money pumps back into the market, it typically leaves the precious metals. However, they are still in 1st and 2nd place, and they are still the only things green on the year. So this is the final tally for the week this week. We moved from 8th place up to 4th place, passing the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, the Russell 2000, and the S&P 500. So very good week. Hope you guys all had a great week investing. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.